Welcome to the world of superheroes, where you can get superpowers once you apply a certain badge to your wrist. Hello, and welcome back to every recap ever. Today we are seeing a 2022 superhero movie called The Hyperions. As usual, drop a like and subscribe for more upcoming recaps. Let's start with a past incident. So in the year 1969, a teenage girl in a superhero uniform takes a subway train. Her name is Vista and passengers are shocked to see her. She stares at a person and he automatically gives a stolen wallet to the lady. It's as if his body is moving on his own. Suddenly the train stops, and some men along with Professor Ruckus enter the train. He asks her to hand over the badge from her wrist and sit beside her. He basically tries to make her understand that she shouldn't run away on her own. He even gives her his mother's watch as a gift. It's actually a compass. However, she just throws it away and acts like a spoiled kid. So it turns out the badge actually gives her superpowers, and she has the power of reading minds. She can even control people's actions, as we saw earlier. Vista reads the professor's mind to figure out he's scared of her and hates her. However, he just stays silent and keeps talking to her. 15 years later, the professor creates a museum to showcase the badges with different abilities. Vista and her brother Ansel come to the museum. They go into the restrooms and change into their superhero costumes. Vista then breaks the glass protecting badges and creates a hostage situation. She tries to take the badge, however it is locked with a fingerprint scanner. Vista quickly asks the manager to open the lock. However, even he can't open the lock as the fingerprint required is of Professor Ruckus. So let's talk about these superpowers. Apparently, Professor Ruckus created these badges and took some teenagers from the orphanage to give them powers. His goal was to protect the people from unexpected dangers. These badges connect to human DNA and give the special powers depending on their body. Initially, there were 3 people: Vista, Ansel, and their group leader Maya. Maya was the only adult among them, as he felt there must be a guardian with these teenagers. Later, more people joined the group, but eventually everyone left except for Maya. They then added a new member to the team. Coming back to the story, Vista tries to call the Ruckus, but he just doesn't pick up. She then asks the manager to call Ruckus and get him to open the lock. The manager immediately recognizes her as the superhero from the past. And let's just say, the situation in the museum is not all that chaotic. All people are happy seeing the past superheroes. The hostages are actually enjoying themselves. Suddenly, Vista learns that police have gotten involved in this, and she goes outside to check the situation. It is definitely not looking good, as the cops have surrounded the museum. Vista now starts getting worried about the outcome. Meanwhile, Maya and the newly appointed guy tries to take care of some bad guys. Maya shows her teleportation powers and easily defeats the bad guys. However, they both get wounded in the process. Later at the hospital, while treating her wounds, she receives a call that the museum has been hijacked. She immediately teleports to the location and learns the situation from the police head. Meanwhile, Vista receives the threatening call saying she needs to get the badges quickly or the consequences will be bad. Apparently, she is not doing this willingly. Rather, someone else is forcing her to do this. She hears a knocking on the museum door and goes to check it. Turns out to be the Maya. She is a little shocked seeing Vista and asks about her objective. Vista just requests her to get the professor. She is also in possession of a cork. Now, what is this cork? Apparently, the professor had developed a machine which prevents superpowers in a certain range. Maya is shocked. The cork should be with the professor. Maya quickly teleports her to the roof and asks her to break the silence. It turns out, Vista is currently in a bad situation and she can't tell her the details. She knows she has made mistakes in the past, and she even wrote hundreds of letters apologizing to the professor. However, he never replied and even came to support her. Vista then goes back to the museum. Maya teleports outside and sees Ares. She quickly takes him to a remote island, as he can't be seen by other people. He asks her to talk to the professor for his Titan badge. He really wants his superpowers back. So, Ares was the one who joined later, but he also left the team as he misused his powers. Maya asks him to go home and teleports him back. Vista comes inside the museum again and tells Ansel about everything. He gets a little worried hearing about Maya. They don't have their powers if the plan goes south. So it turns out, Vista's daughter has been kidnapped by someone, and that person is asking for Titan badges in return for her daughter. Ansel is helping her because he cares for Vista's daughter as his niece. Vista then goes into a video hall where she reminiscence about her past. So basically, she started dating a famous musician back in time and left the group. The professor then hired new members to fill the spot, and he made it like a trend to change the members every year. Vista then receives the call from the kidnappers, and he asks her to recite some lines in front of the media. Meanwhile, Ruckus is having an interview on some news channel. Suddenly, Maya pops up and asks him to come with her. They then go to his office where she tells him the condition. He is angry at why Vista has shown up now. Even though he loved her as a dad, she always acted like a spoiled kid. According to him, she got married to a rich musician. So why is she here after all these years? Maya tries to make him understand that she might be in trouble, and he should at least listen to her. She even shows Vista's letters that he never read. When Vista left the group, Ruckus made himself so busy with work that all these things seem insignificant to him now. However, Maya knows that deep inside, he still cares for all of his children. Suddenly the news pops up, where Vista asks the professor to unlock the badge's lock quickly. She basically threatens them by reading the script provided by the kidnapper. Ruckus and Maya then decide to visit the museum. On the other side, Ansel looks at the old pictures of him and starts missing his hero days. In the past, everyone just discarded him after Vista left. Basically, he never wanted to quit becoming a hero, however, just because he was meeting Vista secretly, they removed him. Oh, and don't worry about the captives. They are enjoying themselves playing board games and roaming around the museum. Vista then gets a call, and she hears her daughter's voice. The kidnapper tells her that she has 30 minutes or she can prepare for the worst. She literally breaks down hearing her daughter crying. Later, she activates the cork and gets ready for Ruckus and Maya. The professor and Maya come to the museum. They enter the place and greet the people who are held captive. They then head upstairs and go to meet Vista and Ansel. Well, the conversation starts and Maya asks Ansel to come outside with her.
The whole world revolves around you.
Money, money, money.
Huh?
Yeah, they fight like maniacs. Ruckus basically thinks that she is again after his money. She was always a spoiled brat and never listened to him. Meanwhile, Ansel tells Maya about Vista's daughter and her kidnapping. After arguing for a while, Ruckus goes downstairs and opens the lock for her. She finally takes her badge and puts it on her wrist, however it doesn't work. Apparently, these are the fakes. I mean, come on, it's common sense. Why would Ruckus keep the original badges here in public? Vista again breaks down in tears and finally calls him dad. She begs him to give her the badges for her daughter's sake. Maya even shows him the picture of her daughter. However, he doesn't believe her. He thinks it's just another way of getting the badge and eventually taking more money from him. So it turns out in the past, she came with her boyfriend. She literally controlled him to give her more money and the cork. However, before going, she gave back her badge and broke all the connections she had with Ruckus. This act literally hurt the Ruckus, and any hope left for Vista in his heart vanished. However, even Vista didn't like her behavior. She just did this for her boyfriend. Later, she started living with her boyfriend. One day, she received a letter saying she's pregnant. Her boyfriend is happy, or we can say he's pretending to be happy. The next day, her boyfriend left her and she was heartbroken. She realized her mistake of hurting her dad and wrote so many letters to Ruckus. So coming back to the present, Ruckus leaves the museum in his car. Maya receives an urgent call of some robbery and immediately goes to capture them. In the car, Ruckus sees the picture of Vista's daughter and sees Vista wearing the watch he gave in the past. He realizes she might be not lying this time and in serious need of help. Meanwhile, the kidnapper shows himself in the museum along with Vista's daughter. He turns out to be Ares. Some people might have guessed this already, so Ruckus goes to his office and takes out the badges. He thinks for a while and decides to give them to Vista. He then comes back to the museum again and sees Ares. He has created the hostage situation, and this time a real one. The professor figures out that it was him who was behind this incident. Ares has basically become mad without his powers. He can go to any lengths to get back his powers. Ares asks for the badge, however, the professor tells him that he accidentally broke it. Ares even asks him to make the badge again. Professor then sneaks Vista's badge to her, and she regains her powers. She starts controlling the people who are aiming guns at them. Maya also comes after completing her job. Ruckus then throws Ansel's ring, and he gains his superhuman strength back. After the chaos, Ares tries to run away with Vista's daughter. However, Vista catches up to him and defeats him using her powers. Police officers then enter the building and witness the massacre these guys caused. Everything seems calm, but the professor is missing. Maya and others try to find the professor and they see him trapped under the rubble. A few days later, Vista goes to visit the professor at the hospital. He is playing with Vista's daughter, and apparently he has read all the letters Vista has sent him. Everyone goes out to let them talk. Ruckus then asks her to activate her powers. She reads his mind this time and breaks into tears. All she could utter was, "I love you, Dad." A few days later, Ruckus makes Vista the next head of his institute. She sits on his chair and sees the moment when Ruckus comforted her in the past. Cut to the train scene when she fell asleep sitting in the train. He was scared of her powers initially, but he still loved her as his daughter. So there you have it. Another recap done and dusted. I hope you enjoyed the video. As usual, drop a like and subscribe to our channel. We will see you in the next video.